I'm sorry, I wonder if this weariness that you talk about, you mentioned a couple of socio-economic indices. You talked about the high cost of living and all of that. Doesn't that make the electorate, the voter there in Ondo State, more susceptible to disinformation and, thereby becoming easy prey for to be used or can be used, not, and even an issue you and I will talk about down the line, which is even the issue of vote buying that we've talked about. But doesn't that make them more susceptible to some of this disinformation and malinformation there being put out there regarding the election?
Yes, absolutely. You're correct on that score, and just right on point in terms of our own fears and what we think should be a very, very robust approach to ensuring that the people get the right information and, of course, get that reminder that their votes remain their power, and this is what they should use to effect the change they want to see. It's not an easy discussion because you are up against not just internal realities but also external realities, and which is why our countering disinformation efforts in CDD, beyond addressing the underlying issue, we are also looking at it from a regional point of view, ECOWAS as a region. And of course, we are mounting advocacy efforts to ECOWAS because some of the content that drive the kinds of narrative that make people to disengage from the process, they are content that sit on social media platforms. They sit there on traditional media platforms. They are there in online blogs. People get to read and get to internalize and digest these things. So we need to also get to a point where we are able to engage the people responsible for the moderation of content. We need to also get to the point where we are able to speak with those big tech platforms where some of this content sits, that the content that discuss democracy should be one that energize the people, not one that will depress the people and kind of depress their participation in the electoral process. And that is why, of course, the Economic Community of West African States is one of the stakeholders we are targeting for advocacy, because we also know that it is not just about what is happening in Nigeria alone. We cannot isolate ourselves in Nigeria and say, okay, let's deal with this problem as a Nigerian thing alone. The assault and the attacks that democracy is suffering is not just something that happens within one country. It's now a regional dimension. It has now taken a regional dimension, and any effective solution to it has to also take a regional dimension, and which is why we are actually very, very passionate about also bringing in the regional bodies and also, of course, the international bodies to also be a part of this, particularly when it comes to advocacy to the big tech platforms, because they are the ones currently that hosts all the content that either would make or mar the democracy.